And welcome to the Be Progressive Show. I'm Brandon Neal. We are live. It is Tuesday evening. And as always, we've got plenty of maggotry to discuss. We have stimulus news. We have Mike Pence news. We have all kinds of fun stuff. But we're going to start tonight off kind of like we did last night with a, not really a MAGA coping compilation, but I found these two guys. They have a relatively small channel, a little bit bigger than me, of course, because, just started. But I've never watched a show where 90% of what's said by the host is literally and factually incorrect. Like, I listen to a lot of Trump stuff and a lot of, right-wing stuff, and they at least try and spin their ways. These guys don't. These guys are so... I almost feel sorry for them, so we got to hear them. Oh, we got to catch the beginning. I think I missed the beginning of this.
We are the Young Conservative Brothers.
Oh, Lord. Watch out.
And we are breaking the stigma that white people can't talk about race, the system, and the government.
What?
And if you are new here, don't forget to click down, subscribe, and turn...
Sorry, white people aren't allowed to talk about the government anymore. My bad. I didn't know. I guess I'll just go ahead and delete my account. Oh, wait, though. These guys said it was okay now, so...
Turn on notifications, get new videos when we upload them.
This is big.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it's
real
big.
big. It is. It
It
needs
is.
to be done. Something done about this election.
It is.
That we all know.
So getting into this video, it's pretty much saying that representatives, senators are going to be jumping behind Trump, get these electoral votes pretty much wavered off.
Per much. I can't stand the per much. He says that a lot. Yeah. I don't even know. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for words.
Pretty much what they
I
should
skimmed
be.
through
They're
this
all
earlier.
legal.
I got
It's
a
pretty
sense
much, like
of
I
the
said in videos
ignorance.
past. Pretty much with Georgia, for an example, it's pretty much treason.
Mm-hmm.
How can you have video evidence of something and then try to certify electoral votes to be?
Here's the problem. There's no amount of evidence in the world produced by anyone, people you like or dislike. There's no evidence in the world that's going to stop these two young, dumb chuds from following Trump around so they can suck him off. These guys are fully, indoctrinated into dumb.
Counted.
Yeah, it's all of the electoral errors going on. We're seeing it. So Trump put out a tweet, which
Electoral
is completely
errors.
what needs to happen. So his tweet says, "Time for Republican senators to step up and fight for the presidency, like the Democrats would if they actually won," which they didn't. "The proof is
Which we did.
irrefutable. Massive late-night mail-in ballots drop in swing states, stuffing the ballot boxes on video, double voters, dead voters, fake signatures, illegal immigrant voters."
So, just to summarize this tweet real quick, let's go back. Okay, so it says that the proof is irrefutable, that's wrong. Massive late night mail-in ballot drops did happen, but there's nothing wrong with that or illegal. It just takes time for all of the ballots to be collected and brought in, and during an election, especially a presidential election, these processes run 24 hours. And you, Donald Trump, and you conservative brother dum-dums, Donald told everybody that voted for him to go vote in person and not vote mail-in. Even though he did and always has. So he told all of the base to go to in-site and vote. And then wonders why all of the mail-in ballots that came in were not 80-90% for Biden. I mean, love sneezing during a live show. So anyway, they can't get past the fact that I think what it is was Trump was up early, and it got them all excited. And then when the ballots came in, it took a dump on them. And they haven't really recovered from that since. And so they've continued this narrative that the ballot drops. There were ballots brought in that were legal, that needed to be counted, and they were all from the Democrat side, who the Democrats told their voters to vote mail in because we're in the middle of a pandemic. And Trump said, no, don't worry about the pandemic. Go straight to the polls and vote. So all of his people did that. A majority of the Democrats voted by mail. It doesn't take a rocket science. Figure this out. It's not that hard. It makes perfect sense. But the problem is, like I said, none of the evidence in the world, there's not enough evidence in the world that would convince these two guys or the rest of the Trump base. They don't care. That's where we mistake as liberals. We like run around fact checking all. They don't care. So why do we do it? We do it because we have to do it. We have to just constantly show, here's where they're wrong. They're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. But it gets old. And they don't ever take responsibility. When they get refutably, proven wrong, and they don't have a choice, then they just laugh it off and move on. It's like just rolls off their back. They don't care. It's amazing.
States stuffing the ballot boxes on video, double voters, dead
There
voters,
weren't
fake signatures,
dead and
illegal
double
immigrant
voters that amounted
banned
to
Republican
anything
vote
at
watchers,
all.
more votes than actually voters.
That
Shout out
actually
to
didn't
Troy in
happen at all.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, that didn't happen at all. They tried to say that there were more voters that voted than there were that live in the state, which, shocker, people leave the state before the last time that census was taken, dumb fuck. And either way, at one point they were citing numbers, population numbers of a state that they weren't even in. They were in court trying to fight, I think it was Wisconsin, and they were quoting Minnesota numbers. So none of that actually happened. This has all been credibly debunked. And I don't have a 3-hour video that I'm going to go through and do it all. And I don't feel the need to because I don't care whether or not these chuds get it or not. They're going to get it when Biden's president on January 20th. Now, if they choose to act like idiots and go out and riot and do whatever they're going to do, you know how the Republicans are thugs, and they're going to get out in the street. The Proud Boys have already taken up an entire hotel in D.C. They're already ready to go January 6th. It's going to be nasty. I'm serious. It's going to get ugly. And it's just amazing. It is amazing to me.
And much more. The numbers are so far greater than what is necessary to win an individual. Everything that happened.
Because with the first starting off, the Democrats, if they actually knew they won and got cheated off, every single one of them would be backing each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, well, but the Democrats are really notorious and known for that. They have their back. No matter what they say, if they disagree, they'll be ousted out. So they have to pretty much go as a group. A group think, which is a bad thing, group think.
But the thing is with Republicans that been in there for so long, they think just like the Democrats.
No, they did like McConnell.
Where they still are getting money from other countries, getting rich while the American people are getting poorer.
See, that's the thing, that these Republicans and these Trumpers, they eventually come around to what this idea that they're getting ready to lay out here somewhat is that they'll never go that extra step. What they do come to realize is that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are almost the same. There's almost no difference. And they come around to that when it comes to certain subjects and certain policies and things, and it comes up, and I think they believe that in somewhat, But then in the same breath, they turn right around and call the Democrats radical, left, communists, socialists, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry, but the two parties in this country are really one party. They're really, really close. There's almost no daylight in between them. There really isn't. The only difference is the Republicans are just out and out open about their corruption and their hatred toward the American people, and they'll do anything they can to enrich themselves and their businesses. And the Democrats do the exact same thing, except they lie about being on the right side of issues. They lie and say they support certain issues that the left wants supported, but then when they get in power, like Nancy Pelosi, they don't ever do any of those things. Like Joe Biden, not going to do any of those things for the left. He's not going to do it. He's going to get in, he's going to be a centrist Republican, and that's how it's going to be. But you can't explain that to people like this because they want this whole political thing is such a ball game. It's such a competition for them that their side won or our side, won or whatever. Like, it's just a side thing, and it's not really about. I just wish it was more about policy and more about looking at the minutia of the policy of Trump and of the Republicans versus the Democrats and say, hey, all these policies that the progressives want, that the Democrats, mainstream Democrats don't want, and the Republicans don't want, when you pull those policies one by one across the aisle on both sides throughout the country, those progressive policies like Medicare for all, $15 an hour minimum wage, Green New Deal, we're talking all the major progressive policies that the Dems don't want and the Republicans don't want, when you poll the American people with those policies individually, okay? So you don't bring them a poll that say, which of these Democrat policies do you like or don't like? Because they're all going to say they don't like them. But if you just say, hey, what do you think about giving college, public college free tuition to help better educate our population? Everybody says, yeah, of course, it makes perfect sense. How about Medicare for all? So your health insurance is not tied to your employer. How about that? Makes perfect sense. Every other country, every other national or industrialized nation has nationalized healthcare. Israel, which is the Republicans' other favorite country, has nationalized healthcare that pays for abortions. Yep. Go look it up. And, I just wish that they would look at these policies between the two and say that, hey, Democrats are not that far off from Republicans. They're really, really, really close. And the progressive policies, if we poll all those policies out there, they poll really high. Medicare for all polls really high. Like when you just poll it, I think I'll have to pull it up, but I think it's like 60-some%. It's even higher than that for a minimum wage. All of these policies, when polled individually, do great. But as soon as you attach a name to the Democrat, Republican, everyone divides down party lines. Gets old.
That's what they do. So the Democrats always go by their side, each other's. For Republicans, you'll have the thing of switch to rhinos and people that love America.
That's
It's
the whole
that
thing.
simple.
Yeah, so now we're getting into some senators that are joining on the Trump side to.
Yeah, and I'm tired of the whole love America thing, because doing what these two chuds are doing and what all the Trump Republicans are doing is not American. It's actually un-American. They were talking about treason. Actually, all of what they're doing is sedition. Not what these guys are doing, but what the actual politicians are doing is seditious. It is. The problem is they believe they were cheated because that's what Donald Trump told them, and they do and believe anything Donald Trump says. It doesn't matter. Donald Trump could come to their house and say, I want you to kill your parents. They would go over there and they would kill them both. They do it. They're brainwashed zombies that just walk around in the world because of Donald Trump told them to do it. It's amazing. Dangerous. Very dangerous.
Pretty much contest the electoral college votes. So first one is Representative Taylor Greene is joining and saying that some Republican senator will now join the effort to challenge electoral college votes.
There we go. So
There it
are
is.
they standing up? Finally,
They
someone
are.
is, because it took long enough.
Yeah, and then there's some suggestions of Senator Rand Paul and Senator-elect Tommy Tuberville said they might get involved, which I honestly believe that they are
Yeah.
going to get involved. They don't want to really put out.
Rand Paul gets involved in every single one of these major issues, always on the wrong side of it, and then makes a principled stand and look how I'm different from the other Republicans. I'm a libertarian. I'm making a stand. Go back and listen to Rand Paul's speech against the $2,000 or against just stimulus in general. Yeah, if you want to get pissed off, go listen to that. Just a moron, man. People are fucking in the streets. They're literally being kicked out of their house. Millions of people are being kicked out. Don't care. Fuck them.
Out their whole entire game plan and put out there. You know how the Democrats like to cheat, slander, attack,
Yeah.
violence.
Dogs. They'll
Every-
do
Really? Come on.
everything.
Oh,
They'll
they're
threaten
horrible.
their family.
Should we go through all the nicknames that Trump has given other politicians? Should we go and talk about the Republicans that tried to kidnap a sitting governor? Should we talk about the Trumper that did run over and kill someone in Charlottesville? Should we talk about the Trumper that shot up a church? Should we talk about all the violent acts that the Trumpers do and the Proud Boys and all these boogaloo dumb fucks that are all Trumpers? Sorry. It's not the left that's violent. I know that you want to spin it that way, but that's not the case.
Threaten all this. They don't want to hear this. They'll probably come like January 5th or somewhere right near it and say, I'm contesting it, all this. Or just come January 6th and say, I contest it, I object.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, because you know how the left is throughout all this. Dox. Go to the Michigan canvassers. Remember them? Got doxxed. Then
It's like they're even talking about Michigan, and you're talking about somebody doxing somebody. Your side tried to kidnap the motherfucking governor of Michigan and got caught. Bad apples, right? Just like on the police force, just a few bad apples.
put yes, and then they eventually went back to no.
No, they're horrible people. And then
Yeah.
you go on to these rioters, which are all Democrats. They
All
go right
Democrats,
to
right?
violence. So this January 6th,
Last I checked, it's always the Proud Boys. It's always these right-wing militia groups that start shit.
with a lot of Trump people going to showing up, I guarantee the other side's going to be there too. For
Yeah.
us, it's horrible. It's going to happen, but just what needs to be done. So, fortunately,
These two little bitches wouldn't last 5 seconds on the street. Well, I just wanted everyone to hear these guys because this is a study in ignorance, man. They don't have a clue. That's like they almost even like half pay attention to just the Trump stuff, and even half paying attention to that, and then trying to do a show about it. You can tell these guys are really ignorant and uneducated, unfortunately. But that's how it goes. That's how most are on that side. So anyway, moving on. All right. Well, we'll talk about what happened here. So yesterday, we'll rewind back to what happened in case you didn't watch yesterday's show or you don't know what's going on with this, or it's your first time here. And if it is, welcome. Thank you. So it looks like Donald Trump finally, for some reason, has decided to make a stand about the $2,000. So he decided that he thought everybody needed to get the $2,000 checks, and he said that he would not pass this bill unless it had it in there, and then he didn't, and for a couple days, and then all of a sudden on Sunday came out and said, nah, never mind, totally cucked out, totally let it go. And so after he did that, the House Democrats drafted a bill. It was a standalone bill that said that it would increase the $600 that was in the COVID relief bill to $2,000, and it was a standalone bill that had nothing else on it. Okay, so of course that immediately passes the House, and then it goes to the Senate. Well, today we thought, well, maybe he'll at least bring a vote. Nope, the turtle fucks us again, and again and again. And I don't know how old this guy is, but I'm really, really hoping that he is about done. He has ruined enough lives. He's probably directly responsible for many, many, many thousands of deaths. He is an awful, awful human being. And he has blocked the Republicans even voting on it. Now, strategically wise, I'm sure what he's done here is he knew that this vote would be very damaging for the Republican Party, because everybody, like I discussed last night, you can take, say, the COVID relief bill that's 5,000 pages and full of pork and shit that doesn't have anything to do with it, and you can say, well, I'm not going to vote for that because it's, really when your intentions was to not vote for it because of the $2,000, you could just say, oh, I'm not going to vote for it because it had all this other pork in it, blah, blah, blah. And then you kind of just get away with that because there was a lot of other stuff in the bill. So when the Democrats put out this bill today and last night and passed it, it was a standalone bill. So if you're a Republican now in the Senate, you have to vote yes or no on it. And if you vote no, you're voting no to help the American people. And you're a piece of shit, and everyone knows that, and they will see that. And so I think Mitch McConnell was probably just protecting all of those Republicans by not even allowing the vote, because I think it would do more damage to the Republican Party than what he was willing to do, and I don't think it would have passed anyway. So, most likely, McConnell, strategically did what he had to do, and it's pathetic. So we have a party that literally hates the American people. They are anti-American. They are now leaning toward seditious and treasonous, and they just do not give a shit about you at all. So it's I'm not going to get into this because it's pretty cut and dry. He basically just that's it. So anyway, I'll move on here. Yes. So, we're now all starting to get a little bit worried about the violence that's probably going to occur on January the 6th in D.C. Now, like I said earlier, the Proud Boys have already pretty much booked up an entire hotel. They got some roach-infested motel that they've got in D.C., so they're going to be there. There's going to be other militia groups there, the Boogaloo Boys. There's going to be all these other militia cosplayer, G.I. Joe cosplay guys. The Gravy Seals. They're going to show up. But it's all fun and games to joke about it. But actually, I think on the 6th they're correct, and I do think that there might be some violence.
Olivia, I want to pick up on something that Jonathan Lemire just mentioned, and that's the January 6th and the plan for protests here in Washington, protests that the president himself is even tweeting about, encouraging people to come to Washington to attend, and the fear of violence. And in the final days of his administration, whatever happens is going to play on his legacy. And I'm just wondering, from your perspective, how do these last few days, and particularly what could happen on January 6th, how will that play into President Trump's legacy?
Well, I am actually very concerned that there will be violence on January 6th because the president himself is encouraging it. This is what he does. He tweets, he incites it, he gets his followers and supporters to behave in this manner. And these people think that they're being patriotic because they are supporting Donald Trump and their loyal followers. And I think, in terms of his legacy, this is a president who calls himself the president of law and order. And we have seen anything but that, right? We had a bombing on Christmas Day. We've had protests in the streets. This is all out of control. The divisiveness is through the ceiling because of this man who continues to stoke the flames of these extreme, far-right people who show up and think that he's calling out to them. And so if that's the legacy that he wants, he certainly has it. And it will follow him, I think, for the rest of it.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. That's the problem. That's the other thing, too. When you have a guy that's his age, I think when you reach a certain age like that, you really just, kind of don't care anymore. And on top of his already mental decline and mental illness that Trump has and his narcissism and everything, he's going to burn it down. He's going to burn down the Republican Party with it too, and that's how it's going to be. I was just talking about McConnell, and I was going to show you guys this, and I forgot. Every time I see McConnell, I think of this. It's the dude from. I think it's one of the Silent of the Lambs movies, or Red Dragon, one of that from that series. I can't remember, but that's who I think of every single time I think of Mitch McConnell, worthless piece of shit. So anyway, let's see what we got here. What's going on in the? Yeah, everyone's up in arms about it. Now Bernie did come out and is going to fight this. He says that he will filibuster the defense bill vote over the New Year's holiday if the Senate attempts to draw out vote on $2,000 stimulus checks. So hopefully he will stand up. That's the thing, is you see Bernie stand up so many times for the people and do what's right and do what's going to help people, and he's done that for so many years. And then as soon as he runs for president, not only does he have to fight the Republican Party, but he has to fight the fucking worthless, corrupt Democratic Party too. And you see every single time when there's an issue where someone should take a stand, Bernie Sanders stands up and does it. And it's sad that we don't care. The Democrats don't care at all. So I don't know if anybody follows the Arizona Republican Party, but the Arizona Republican Party Twitter account is just straight up craziness. It's like a 15-year-old kid that's like a Trumper or something. It's really bad. And Rhinos and the Radical Dems make for some weird bedfellows. I troll this account because they said if anybody that trolls them or whatever, then they're going to just ban the account. So I'm just going to make them ban me. I just do this shit all the time. Still your president, dickhead. Oh, great. So it looks like now that the new UK strain of the COVID that had mutated has now been confirmed in Colorado. That didn't take long. Colorado State Laboratory confirmed and notified the Center for Disease Control of this case. The individual is a male in his 20s, is currently in isolation. Elbert County has no travel history. Public health officials are going through a thorough investigation. The individual is recovering in isolation and will remain there until cleared by the public health officials. There's no close contacts. Yeah, so there's a lot we don't know about this new COVID-19 variant, but scientists in the UK are warning the world that it is significantly more contagious. That's not good. The health and safety of the Coloradians is our top priority, and we will closely monitor the case as well as COVID-19 indicators, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's not good. Don't need any more higher contagion level than what we already have. So, let's see. Judge blocks voter purge in two Georgia counties, and that judge happens to be Stacey Abrams' sister. Election interference much? No, you fucking lost, you pansy asses. You lost the election. It doesn't matter who's related to who, or if, Billy Bob's cousin's sister's uncle is married to a Democrat. It doesn't matter. You lost the election. Can't wait until December the 6th, or January the 6th. So Trump's now pushing the Loeffler and Perdue, because they both have now came out. Loeffler and Perdue have came out for $2,000 checks. So now he's back on their side again. So that's not, that's to be expected. Oh, and here's Betsy DeVos. Boy, you talk about one piece of work that I cannot wait. I cannot wait to watch this stupid, hypocritical piece of dog crap get scraped off at the sidewalk when Biden comes in, man. She is worthless. Just worthless. Kevin Sorbo constantly running his ignorant Republican mouth. He's constantly checked on there every day, made to look like a fool, and he keeps doing it. Of course, now he's talking about spending his $600. Like he needs $600. Spending it on guns. That's what we do in the Republican Party. Trump's attorney says the Georgia runoff is rigged so your side will win. Now you can stay home and laugh at all those Democrats wasting their time. Okay. Jim Jordan. Founding fathers would want to know why all those boys at Ohio State got molested with Jimmy Boy. Yeah, he's a pedo apologist. Molester apologist. Like the rest of the Republicans that support Trump. He actually went outside of Trump to earn his pedo wings and his molestation wings. Another first class quality Republican, like the rest of them. Oh, Chuck had a few things to say. I can't stand Chuck Schumer. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this.
To millions and millions of American families, something Senate Democrats strongly support. The Senate should be in session to address both issues. There are only a few days left in this session. We should not adjourn until the Senate holds a vote on both measures, the NDAA veto override and the House bill to provide $2,000 checks for the American people. As we all know, the majority leader controls the schedule on the floor. So Leader McConnell holds the key to unlocking this.
It surprises me in a, constitutional republic, or not really truly a democracy, but it surprises me in our system that we have one guy, there's one seat, the speaker or the leader of the House, that really controls, that has more, I think there's more power given to that role than there is the president. And you laugh at that. But Mitch McConnell literally won't vote on anything he doesn't want. So how is that democracy? How are the people being heard when you won't even take a vote? You just stand up there and block everything. You know? I mean, piece of shit. Yeah, real turd. Probably one of the worst, you know? And I can't wait. When that guy passes away, they better install a good irrigation ditch around his grave. Him and Trump both. Because there's going to be a lot of piss. So, it's a mess, folks, but, you know, we will keep moving on. Let's hope that if you're anywhere in the Washington, D.C. area in January 6th, if you don't have to be there, I would not be there. I really expect bad things to be happening. You know how these Republicans are. You know how they're thuggery and they're G.I. Joe cosplaying. And unfortunately, that's all clowny and stupid, but their guns are real and their guns will kill people. And Kyle Rittenhouse killed somebody, you know, I mean, it's going to happen. You know, when you have a violent party like the Republican Party, then this is what you're going to get. You know, they're just a few steps away from full-blown Nazism at this point. So, yeah, I heard that Geraldo is really, really being like attacked by the Trumpers right now because he came out in support of the president shutting up and setting down and admitting that he lost. Let's look at one more thing, and then we're going to call it for tonight. Just still not a lot going on. I always go and look at Stop the Steal, because that's where the ignorant people are at. No one is called for violence. Yeah, there's going to be violence, trust me. And it's going to come from your party. They think they're patriots. It's amazing. Some of these tweets are just amazing. What our POTUS says, America voted for him 2 times. We won't be forced to accept a pedo president. Well, you've already accepted a pedo president. Trump is a pedophile. It's very obvious. Hung around with Epstein, one of Epstein's good buddies. So, we all know who's the real pedophile. Is Joe Biden a little creepy and sniffing in the hair of girls and stuff? You bet. But never forget that I don't like Biden either. Just think that Trump is a fucking pedo and Biden is just a little bit creepy. But you never know. He could be too. And the other person that I'm not going to miss seeing or hearing that nasty, awful voice is Kayleigh
one party in America trying to keep observers out of the count room.
Yeah, that didn't happen. And she just, like Jake Tapper said, she lies like she breathes, and that's so true. So all of these people will be gone very soon, and we will not have to deal with them anymore. So, all right, folks, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. I don't have anything else tonight. We'll try to put together some more stuff, see what happens tomorrow. I don't expect anything to come of this $2,000. I think $600 is all we're going to get. And I don't really think much will come out of it. I hope Bernie does take a stand. I hope others take a stand. But we'll see. So, all right, if you're new here, if this is your first time watching the show, please subscribe and like and comment. All those things are really important to us new YouTube content creators, especially me, who's chosen to go into a genre on YouTube that is very oversaturated in online news and talk. So if you like the show, come back tomorrow. We're live every night, weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we'll do it again. So until then, this is Brandon Neal. This is the Be Progressive Show.